Yo, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to episode 2 of Cafecito con Jay&Mely. I'm Jay,
I'm Mely.
and welcome back, guys. Today's episode, we kind of left you guys with a little cliffhanger last time. This episode is called
How we almost didn't make it.
"Bam, How We Almost Didn't Make It." Now, we talking about just us, or what didn't make it? What almost didn't make it?
Well, first, we can say this podcast.
This podcast.
Yep. But before we continue on, let's do our little cafecito check-in.
Facts.
Okay. So, welcome back. Pull up a chair, join us, grab your little drink. I got my cafecito
I got
in
mine too.
hand. It's a little tad bit cold.
Mine's warm. It's not that bad.
Not like mine's piping.
Oh yeah, I know.
For me, it's
Trust
cold.
Trust me, I know very well. I can go for some cold coffee.
No, I'm good. That's all you.
Yeah.
But how are we doing this week?
Not that bad, to be quite honest. I think, so for those who don't know, we pre-record these episodes. So we just finished Valentine's weekend. So that was, it was good. It was all right. Different. Because it was literally just 3 out of 5 of us.
Yeah.
But the other two, they grown now, so they were out and about. But it was pretty cool. We cooked dinner together. We saw a couple movies. Not a couple movies. That's a lie. We
saw some
series.
criminal.
Yeah, it was a criminal series. Overall, it was good though. I enjoyed it. I got mad cologne, guys. Mad cologne, which is always beneficial, right? Because you don't want to stink. Did you enjoy your gifts?
Yeah, I actually did. One thing that I was giddy all about that brought me back to like my childhood, teenage years.
Mm-hmm.
I would say the Tweety gift.
Oh, okay.
The Tweety Legos.
Yeah, from our son, our oldest son.
Yes, I'm a diehard Tweety fanatic.
Yeah. When I guess when he was first looking for it, and he sent me a picture of it, and as soon as he sent it to me, I was like, yeah, mommy would definitely like that.
I love it.
I know. You put it together pretty quick, to be honest.
Yeah, it's I love it.
Yeah. So how you feeling this week?
A little stressed and overwhelmed, you can say.
Oh yeah.
Just because our little guy is going into surgery.
Yeah.
So it's
nerve-wracking. So for those of you who don't know, there was my wife, my daughter, and our youngest son were involved in a pretty bad car accident 2 years ago now? No, year and a half.
a year and a half. Mm-hmm.
And so he broke his femur, and so he's getting his rod that's in his femur removed. And maybe the next episode, I can show it to you because I asked the doctor if I can keep it.
So, you sure you want to do that?
I don't know, maybe. I think it'd be pretty cool.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it'll be pretty cool though, so we'll see.
Yeah. So
let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
So first, let's talk about this podcast. Why do you think this podcast almost didn't make it?
I honestly think just because you were very doubtful.
Definitely. A little bit of procrastination in there too.
I don't think so much procrastination, just doubting.
Yeah.
And that you think you're not skilled enough, or you weren't good enough.
Well, to be fair, you guys have seen already the first episode, hopefully, And the editing for me was completely horrible. I know. I'm working on it, guys. But yeah, I mean, it definitely wasn't the best editing, and it's something that I'm still getting a hand on and learning and trying to figure that out. But you're right. I'm like, so when I think of doing something, or when I go about doing something, I think of the worst things possible first, and then figure everything else out. So even when we talked about this, or reliving this, or retrying this, it was it was something I was just like, I don't know, not that I don't like talking to people. I think, out of the two of us, I'm the one that talks to people, but it's just like, I don't know, like, to sit here and to talk to you guys and to have these conversations, it was just something that I knew that, all right, if we're gonna do this, let's do it right. And like we talked about in the last episode, it's just like we invested in this because we wanted to do it right. So to be able to actually see it all come together, um, is great. I mean, it's an accomplishment in a way. Maybe soon, I'll do a behind the scenes and show you guys everything that we got incorporated into this. But it also does take a lot, like, knowing, like, let's say, knowing how to edit it, knowing how to record music, how to make it sound right. Then you got to sync them together and everything. So it's a process that I thought it was a lot easier. I thought it was a lot more plug and play. Just put it together. That's it. But as I'm finding out, the hell it is. Like,
it's more intricate.
This shit is hard. And it's time consuming, guys. Like, I edit it. No lie. I edit it. The intro that you guys will see on this video, the intro and the outro to this video, them 15, 17 seconds, that shit took me at least an hour and a half. Like, no joke. And it's because I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm constantly Google, ChatGPT, how do I do this? I have this, how do I do that? And so, there was times where I was just like, yeah, you know what? Maybe this shit ain't for me, because I don't have patience at all whatsoever. But, to be able to have these conversations, I wanted to do it right. And I didn't want to rush into it. I talked to some guys at work about the podcast who are, actually, they know a little bit about it, and they're, excited for it. Yo, like, when you dropping. I'm like, yo, hopefully soon, you know what I mean?
That's nice.
And they're just like, all right, well, we're waiting. And it's just like, all right, but I want to do it right. Like, some of these conversations, even though we joke, we laugh, some of these conversations are serious conversations where we want to get things done right, so that's why I think
it almost didn't make it.
Yeah.
But I also think pushing and shoving got you there.
It did, because not that we had arguments, but there was a lot of times.
No.
Like, yo, come on, we got to do this. Yo, come on, we got to do this. Oh, you got to do this. Hey, I don't feel like doing this. All right, come on, let's do it.
Yeah, it's more so like the encouragement and the push for you to actually do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because you were full of ideas. I mean, you still are. It's just
some not too
putting
bright.
It into...
Some not too bright. Some of them are dumb as hell. Dumb, stupid ideas. But even like now, like I had an idea of, obviously you guys can see that we're using our phones as secondary and third cameras to try to get close-ups. It's trial and error for me. Hopefully it comes out great in the editing. We'll see. I don't know.
That's all it is. Trial and error.
So hopefully you guys like it, though.
Well, let's go back to the question. What is the biggest thing we overcame together?
Our divorce.
Yes.
Dum dum dum. No.
You should put little cricket sounds.
Yeah, right. No, I think our divorce I think we saw it coming because we got divorced very early in our marriage. Like 2-3 years in, and then we got divorced.
Well, how about let's just backtrack a little bit.
Okay.
All right. Why don't we just talk a little bit about how we met and all of that? That way, you know, they can get filled in with the whole picture on how.
Well, no, because we talked about how we met.
But not
briefly.
Not, you know, briefly, you know, por encimita.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, you know, in depth.
Right.
But we met, you know, as we had previously said. I grew up with both Hispanics, but you know, I grew up more in a very strict Pentecostal family setting type of culture.
Right.
So the whole thing of dating and bringing guys and all that stuff was in a way prohibited.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, with all that aside, teenagers will always be teenagers, and of course, you know, I did my little side stuff. You know,
side quest, like our kids like to say. A la condea.
Yeah, basically. You know, and yeah. We met at Denny's after a youth service.
Remember,
starting
guys,
our senior year.
Remember, spitballs work sometimes. Not all the times, but sometimes. You got to be like stupid throwing spitballs, but you know, it worked. That's all I can say. It worked.
It wasn't because of the spitballs.
I mean, my charm had a lot to do with it, and
goodness.
this handsome face. But you know, y'all get the point.
I didn't want to date at that time. For me, it wasn't love at first sight.
No, but you also, like, well, fairly recently, when we first met, you had just gotten out of a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And an abusive one at that.
And I didn't want to pursue another relationship.
Right.
I wanted to focus. It was my senior year. You know, I wanted to focus on me.
Yeah.
And there was this specific person that wanted to get into a relationship with me and tried their hardest.
Mm-hmm.
And that person used the excuse that it was my brother's birthday weekend and decided to take me out with the excuse of picking up my brother as well. Because my parents were very, very firm, as in, you can't go out on your own. You know, you always have to take your brother.
Right.
So I went out to Denny's. My brother was there, a couple of friends, and then you were there with your brother and some friends as well.
My boy, yeah.
And somehow throughout the night, I ended up sitting next to you, and not with the person that brought me to Denny's.
Yeah, we're not gonna mention no names, guys.
No.
there's a intricate situation there that almost might have happened, that didn't happen. Yeah, it was a lot.
So, we talked, but it was like to me it felt like I was able to click instantly with you. Like it was, I can talk to you comfortably.
I have that effect. No, at least
You better stop. And we were able to hold down a whole conversation.
Yeah, and it's weird because even though we were having this conversation, it was like almost kind of like we knew each other.
Yeah.
And so it was real simple to just sit and have a conversation.
Yeah, it's like we clicked. We had that connection. And I remember he went and he was like, so are you going to go to church tomorrow? And I'm like, yeah, but I don't have a ride. And he was like, I'll pick you up.
Got you. Mind you guys, I didn't even have my L. I ain't had no L's. I didn't even have a whip. I borrowed my brother's car. I didn't even have a car.
No, but you want to know what's the funny part that I don't think I'll ever forget, and still to this day,
And
like
you-
I can close my eyes and
you
still
never,
picture it.
You never let it go, neither.
I was leaving, and you were coming out the restaurant as well, and I turned around and I said, "So, how are you gonna pick me up if you don't even know where I live or you don't even have my number?"
I was gonna send the pigeons. I was gonna send the pigeons out, and they was gonna GPS it.
So from there on, it was history.
Yeah.
So
That sums up. Yeah,
how we met. From
Yeah.
there, it was history. We were inseparable.
Right.
We got to know each other. We were always on the house phone.
Yeah. I mean, the unlimited didn't kick in till after 9 o'clock. So, you know what I mean? The struggle was real back in the day.
Yes, it was. And then I would say quickly after that, we graduated high school. And then I think we got engaged after that. And then a year later, we got married. We were extremely young.
Our firstborn came real soon.
Yep. As soon as we got back from our honeymoon, found out I was pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
And then we didn't went out on our own till after we had our oldest.
Yeah.
So we were always, we lived in my parents' house. And I think that had a lot to do with it as well.
Yeah.
Because it's like that saying goes in Spanish, el que se casa pa su casa, o el que se casa quiere. But at that time we were so young.
For those who don't understand, that means when you get married, get the hell out.
Not in those words. Okay. But we finally got our own place roughly, I would say, close to 6 months after our oldest was born.
Yeah. And even then, like, that was new. It was a struggle because I was the only one working.
Yeah.
I think in between both of us, we decided that you were definitely going to be a stay-at-home mom, at least until he got older.
Yeah.
So I, very early on, having to take the responsibility of being a provider and all of that, it started. It hit real.
Sorry, that was my ankle. It did. The growing up automatically had to set in or click in because life would have put a hold to it.
Right.
So we basically did a lot of growing up.
Yeah.
We didn't live together before we got married.
Which, in a way, and I know it's like very cliche in the Pentecostal church, but sometimes I think that helps because you kind of get a feel of one another. Living together, because it's
hard.
It's a hell of a lot harder.
It's hard, but I also think that's the beauty of being married, because that's when you learn about your significant other.
Yeah, but for some, it's
hard. Absolutely, marriage is not a walk in the park.
Definitely.
But I mean, to me, I find it as that's one of the beauties of actually deciding to be with someone.
Right.
Now you're going to see how two different worlds, two different cultures become one. And it wasn't easy.
Definitely wasn't.
I'm a person, I have extreme OCD when it comes to cleanliness. And I pursue a lot of perfection in it.
Right.
And then when we first got married, and then seeing how you were with, your custom way of living, it clashed.
Which was
a lot.
It did. It was a lot of just
A lot of
throwing stuff around and, you know, expecting it to get picked up. And
for you, yeah.
yeah,
For me, I was always cleaning up after you.
I know.
And I think that was one of our first arguments that we had,
Yeah.
you know, being married. Like, yo, come pick up after your stuff.
Right.
Like, I'm not your maid.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then after that, I think it also, I just want to raise a little bit of like the little red flags that, you know, looking back now, we didn't see.
Yeah.
But I do want to raise them. While I was pregnant, I was very sick during the first months.
Yeah.
So I wasn't able to go out as much. So I think that also took a toll in our marriage as well.
Right.
Because newlyweds.
You want to be out. You want to be out all the time.
You. And I think that also took a toll. And that's when we started allowing outside perspective to come in to our marriage.
Yeah, and that's like the killer, because
yes,
what generally works for us doesn't work for everybody.
Absolutely.
What works for some people don't work for us. But it's all like a learning curve. So you learn it. Yeah. So that being said, I think you know, the constant listening to other people and, oh, you know, you should do it this way or you should do it that way, or so I think that led in big to our divorce.
And then after that, we had our oldest. Quickly, 6 months after Javi was born, we got pregnant again.
Yep.
And this one hit even, I think, a rougher patch, just because we had just moved into our own place. You were the only income, and then you got hurt at your job. You got laid off.
Yeah.
And that caused a lot of stress.
Yeah.
So then we were trying to sit here figuring out, what do we do?
Right.
So once again, we allowed outside perspective inside.
Yeah.
And I think that also took another hit.
Oh, absolutely.
And you know,
and it's like it's like a professional fighter, yo. You could only get hit but so many times before your ass go down.
Yeah.
And you get tired of this shit. So, you know, fast forward what, 2 years after?
Yep.
3 maybe?
No. We got separated, I think, a month before Ellie turned 1.
Yeah. And then, you know.
So, sorry you guys if you heard that was our little one.
Yeah.
But we separated a month before our daughter turned 1. I think we hit like a big brink just because, and I think this is a big key, and I know we talked about it in our last episode, but the whole assumptions and the miscommunication, the lack of communication and assumptions, and allowing outside perspective to come into our relationship and our marriage and dictate what to do, what not to do, where to go, where not to go,
how to do this, how to do that.
That I think that did it for us.
Right.
I don't think it was so much that, oh, I fell out of love with you. No. I don't think it had nothing to do with that.
It's like we talked about the other day, though. Like, you still are in love with the person, you know, like you have genuine love for the person, but being in love with someone is completely different. Having love for someone and being in love with someone is they're two different things. So, you know, we had love for each other because, you know, obviously you're the mother of my kids, you know, I'm the father of your kids. So in that sense, you know, we wanted to work that out. But, you know, being in love is is different. And then with so many hits, you know, like I said, at a point you're just gonna be like, you know what, maybe this shit isn't worth it. Maybe it isn't worth it for me, you know. And there's people that are like, hey, you know what, we're better as friends than we are as a couple, or
Yeah.
you know, we're better as friends than husband and wife,
Mm-hmm.
and they make this shit work.
Yeah. But those were the key components. You know, I think because I was such a shy person, such introverted, um, I just allowed outside people to come and dictate how our house was going to move.
Right.
And out of respect and out of, I wouldn't want to say fear because it wasn't fear,
Yeah.
but just out of the lack of courage to speak up,
Right.
you know, I was just like, okay, okay. You know, even though deep down inside, little by little, I felt like I was dying.
Yeah.
And I was looking for, hey, babe, like, stand up for us, fight for us. And I think also out of respect for the people that were kind of, in a sense, giving us the advice and, you know, helping us out,
Yeah.
you know, because of who they are to us, we didn't fight.
Right. Yeah, and it's one of them, like, you kind of entrust the people that you're around.
Mm-hmm.
And so if they have this bad thought, or maybe not a thought, but you know, bad advice, and you're just like, all right, you know what, I trust this person, I'm gonna listen to it, I'm gonna go for it.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't always the right advice.
Right.
So, and I think for us, it was just a lot of, you know, we say it all the time, a lot of miscommunication. You know,
Yep.
I'm not a mind reader, you're not a mind reader. You know, none of us can tell what's in each other's mind. So the best thing to do is simply talk it out.
Yeah.
As good, bad, ugly as it is, just you gotta talk that shit out, because if not, it's gonna pile up and it's gonna get worse and worse and worse.
And all it's going to create is resentment.
Yeah.
And that's what happened to me. I mean, I can only speak for myself. But I think
It was more anger for me.
for me, it was resentment. I felt like we got together. I was assuming that you knew me and you would have stood up for me and you would have stood up for us and our family.
Right.
And out of the lack of communicating it, I grew so resentful towards you that, like, I was just like, this is not going to work.
Yeah.
It's not going to work.
And what about now? How do you feel now?
We'll get to it. But we separated.
And we were separated for what?
A couple years.
A
couple years. We officially divorced.
Yeah, through court and everything. You know? Judge Judy signed that mug. She was like, "Pow."
No. But I can tell you that divorce was hard.
Oh, hell yeah.
It was not easy.
And I think part of it breaks you down.
It does.
And so you're constantly thinking, all right, what did I do wrong? How can I not make the mistake again, right? You know, what can I do better for the next time? So it takes a toll on anyone, you know, whether you had a shitty marriage, a great marriage, and just decided to part ways, like, regardless how you look at it, that shit takes a toll. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes, you know, it leaves you all jacked up.
Yeah.
Bruises, scars.
And I know that, you know, growing up in a Pentecostal environment, one thing that, you know, the advice that was given was, now it's the time that you need to run to Jesus.
Yeah.
And because I grew up in church, but because I was so hurt, that's the last place I wanted to be in.
Yeah.
And I ran from it. And my mom was like, "Oh, but don't worry, you know, I'm praying for y'all, da da da." And I was so angry.
He was like, "Mother."
I was so angry that I told her, you know what? Pray that he finds someone else.
Yeah.
And that he never looks this way. I don't ever want to be with him again.
Yeah. I mean, but that just goes into the hurt
Yeah.
that you know divorce causes someone. You know,
Yeah.
anger, the frustration, all that shit builds up. So you get to a point where you're just at a point where you spew everything out, you spit everything out, and it's just in a way it kind of lifts a weight off of your shoulder sometimes because you actually get to say what you want. You're not holding it. You're not holding it in.
Yeah.
But yeah, that shit took its toll.
It does. Just because, you know, I got married, we got married with the that's my forever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with the whole love story, you know, you're my Prince Charming and you know, till death do us part.
Yeah. And part of it is, you know, people always paint you the lo bueno que es la vida.
Yeah.
You know, oh, it's great, it's fantastic, this and they don't tell you
the downs. They don't prepare you for
you
it.
gotta go through to make it actually work and the work you gotta put in to overcome certain things versus just quitting and letting go.
And one thing that still to this day is mind-boggling to me is that, you know, the first thing that I was told was just run to God.
Mm-hmm.
No outside resources.
Yeah, but I at the same time I think it goes into like
the Spanish culture.
The Spanish culture, and you know what stays. You know what happens here stays here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's why a lot of older adults in the Spanish community, you know, once you know they progress, you know, they do seek help. You know, you sought a therapist. I sought a therapist. You know, I and this is, you know, within the last couple of years. You know, as long as we've been married, you know, we saw a therapist, so you know, separately, but shit, what 18 years into marriage, and you know, therapy does help, and part of this is like therapy for us, where you know we get to sit here and talk and bullshit and tell people our story, but it's a form of therapy. At least for me, it is. You know, just talking and laughing and you know, blasey blind. You know, for whatever. It's therapeutic.
It is, but I just wanna say something like clear the airway. This is not to bash anyone or bash any culture or any background. Right. This is just our experience.
Right.
But after we got divorced, for me, there was no possible way that we were going to get back together.
No, hell no. No.
No possible way. I did not see it. I was like, nope. And throughout our divorce, you know, I did end up having a different relationship with someone else.
Right.
And yeah, it wasn't the same.
Well, you don't say. Can't nobody be like me. Come on, I'm 1 of 1.
It wasn't the same, but at the same
time,
I'm
like Jordan in his prime. No, I'm just joking, guys.
At the same time, though, it was different, just because it was no longer me. We had 2 little ones.
Right.
You know, and they were both toddlers.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it wasn't the same field out there to play either.
Correct.
So it was harder, but it wasn't the same. It wasn't like the feelings, it just wasn't right.
Right.
But regardless of it, I fought through it, through those emotions, just because I was like, yeah, I'm not going back to him.
Right.
You know, and my mom kept saying, no, it's gonna happen. Y'all gonna get back together. And I was like, Mom, you better stop. No. And she was extremely persistent about it. And I just kept telling her, like, no.
And I think people don't understand that. Sometimes you just need a break. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
And you know, the constant, oh, you know, you'll be okay. Oh, no, like, all right, right now, that's not what I don't need that right now.
Right. You know, but it took a few years, few years, for us to venture outside, you know,
Yeah.
having that other relationship, and just, you know, every time that I would lay my head down on the pillow to go to sleep, you know, and the kids obviously they had their own room, but you know, they always ended up in my room. Um, it didn't feel right. It wasn't right. It's
It
like
felt
something was
empty.
missing.
Yeah.
You know, and I fought against those feelings and those emotions for a long time, and never through my mind I said we're gonna get back together.
No. Ever.
Never. I think a few scary interactions that I had with some fellows, I want to say, even while we were divorced, somehow when I felt uncomfortable and unsafe, I would still call you.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know what, like real quick, and that's funny as shit to me, is the fact that even when we were divorced, I can never call you Mely anything. It was always babe,
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 yeah.
babe. Imagine being divorced, guys, divorced, and then just being like, "Hey, babe, can you do this?" Or babe, can like, and even now, even like at this present moment, if I call you outside of babe, I'm like, I don't like that. What's your name?
Do you remember when you were taking the TV from our room when we got divorced? And mind you, it was the big TV.
I don't remember that
I
one.
I do.
I remember the I think it was like a real skinny Phillips that I had just recently bought.
No, it was the big one.
Oh, the big black joint we had on
that
top of
was
the
heavy.
bureau.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, I remember that. That shit was heavy as hell.
No, you remember you were taking it from the room, and our oldest was going down the steps first, and then you were going behind him with that big old TV. And I was like, we were divorced. And I was like, oh my God, babe, watch it with the baby. And I stopped myself, and I was like, why did I just call him babe?
I think it was just second nature. Like, it's just second nature.
But
that shit was weird. Yeah.
It was.
Still calling your ex babe. That's awkward.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know if you want to talk a little bit on your part as far as like the whole divorce aspect, because I've been doing a lot of talking.
Yeah. No, I mean, as far as for me, it was rough at first, because it's something that you really don't prepare for. You don't think. Even when you get married, you're like, oh, that shit will never happen to me, and it happened. And so it was just more of like, all right, shit, well, I fucked that one up. Like, so it was just okay. So how do I maneuver now? And so, I had the kids like every other weekend, and it was just trying to complacer a ellos, and
please them.
Yeah, to please them, and continue to try to do things as a family sometimes, or just constantly taking them out, reminding them, hey, mommy, papi still love you, even though we're going through this shit, but mommy, papi still love you guys, because they were kids. And then I had different relationships when we were divorced that were all around. I didn't stay attached to anyone, but I was around, for lack of better words. We're not really gonna go into all that, you know what I mean? But there was different states.
All right.
But it you know, but as a I guess as a man, you do that para hacer cosas estúpidas, but just to do stupid shit, gotta hit the SAP sometimes. But you try to fill a void that once you find that one person that you can bug out with and just chill with all day, every day, it doesn't feel forced. It's just something natural. You just try to find that void in different people, and just the shit didn't work out, and then you know I went out and try to do better, try to be better, and then one day it just happened. Just one day I was like, hey, you want to go out? You want to go out for dinner one day? And it was just like, yeah, sure. We'll see what happens. And that shit lasted, and here
That
we
was
are.
history.
Yeah, we right here.
Mm-hmm.
And I think looking at it now, like we've been through some shit. We've been through the mud. We've been through the gutter together. And I'd never rather have another ride or die. You know what I mean? So,
I didn't click.
that's all right.
We could fist bump.
Got you. But you my ride or die, and here we are. We made this shit last, and we went at it, but we made it last. Mm-hmm. And so here we are now. Now we're doing a podcast together.
Yeah.
That just so happened to wake us up a little bit and touch subjects that we thought we were done talking about, and here we are.
Yeah.
But it's definitely, this is something that's definitely dope. I hope you guys, as you guys are watching us and watching the growth of this podcast, we hope you guys learn from our mistakes. If there's something you guys ever want to ask, something you guys ever want to partake in, just ask. Just hit us up. We try our best to put our best foot forward now. I also think we are very overprotective of each other,
yeah,
of our space and of our privacy. So doing this, being able to sit in front of a mic and have these awkward conversations where we tell y'all all the dirt, all the grimy stuff, like the shit, it's a little scary. But we do it for growth. We do it for understanding. We do it for you guys. Mm-hmm. So, we hope you guys enjoy it. We hope this podcast brings blessings not only to us, but to people around us, the people who listen.
And also who could be going through this too.
Yeah, you never know who's going through what. And so people look happy on the outside, but are really miserable inside.
Yeah.
But, life goes on. You live, love, laugh.
Yeah. But I also want to, before we end, I do want to add just one more thing. When we got back together, it wasn't easy.
No.
It took a lot of tears. It took a lot of strength, courage. It took a lot of, compromising. It took a lot of relearning.
Mm-hmm.
And it took a lot of years to get to where we are today.
Absolutely.
Because it didn't happen overnight.
Not at all.
For us to be able to see eye to eye, it didn't happen days or months.
Yeah.
It took some time.
Yeah, definitely took time. Understanding, patience.
Yes. And I think the number one thing was prioritizing us,
Yeah.
focusing on us.
And I mean, and that's something that, no lie, that takes forever and a day to figure that out.
Yeah.
Because, having kids and, kids being involved in different activities and this and the third, where it takes up majority of your time. So prioritizing time for your marriage, for your relationship, for whatever situationship, or, whatever you want to call it, prioritizing time always helps and always involves growth.
Yeah. And like always, yeah, we had our kids right, after we got married. So this is still all new to us as far as, getting used to that. Now we have two grown kids and
Two adults.
So we really haven't had the chance for it just to be us.
No.
But one thing that I do, take close to my heart is prioritizing us, because yes, we have our children, but they will grow and they will leave and make their own homes.
Well, yeah.
And that at the end of the day, it's just you and me.
Yeah.
And that's what we have to focus on.
And we've talked about that. We've talked about that for a while now, where we're learning us, we're prioritizing us. And yeah, obviously, you love your kids, you love, your family dynamic. But, like you said, at the end of the day, who lays down in the bed is me and you. Who's going to wake up and hustle and grind for our marriage is going to be me and you. So, we're going to have to do whatever it is for us.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So I think that was the biggest thing we overcame together.
Facts.
To this day.
To this day.
Yep.
Word. So, guys, we appreciate you guys. We thank you guys for coming through, for listening to us, listening to our family dynamic and drama.
Our venture.
Yeah. Thank you. We appreciate you guys. We hope to see you guys next episode, and enjoy yourself. Be safe, and always, peace.